Today is October 17th, 2020, and you're watching and listening to the Bush League Bros podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the YouTube debut of Bush League Bros Sports Talk. We, of course, are the Bush League Bros. If you've never listened to us before, my name is Brett Batchelder. With me, as always, is the Bostonian Paul Liakis. And Paul, we've got a lot to talk about on this debut episode. But before we get into any of that, man,
Yes.
you know I got to ask you, how you doing, bro? It's a sweet Friday.
Good, man. I'm doing good. It's a sweet Friday. It's great to be on YouTube finally. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now. We're making our YouTube debut tonight, and I couldn't be more excited, man. You know, it's the Bush League Bros finally getting on YouTube. I got my Bush Light with me, just, you know, our future sponsor, dude. I don't know if you saw this, my nice Bush Light here.
Quality,
great bush light going here, and you know it's going well, man. Things are going. The podcast is blowing up, man. Bush Light's already hitting us up, and you know things can be better. I'm very thrilled, very excited for this next phase of the podcast. Hopefully, you know we can get this out to some more people that like to view podcasts on YouTube. I know I'm one of those people, so we're very excited. If you like sports, you like comedy, you like to hear us talk about crazy stuff, you're in the right spot.
This is the place to be. And, you know, I got to give you kudos there. I was not expecting that. I'm proud of you for being able to just throw money out like that. You see, I'm hiding. I'm going to make them earn it. I'll never make the Cowboys earn anything.
There you go.
That's my team. But good for you, man. Hopefully we get that sponsorship. That's a beautiful looking can you've got right there. I'm glad they custom made that for you.
Of course, yeah.
Bush League Bros. And, you know, for you guys that have been listening to us on Spotify, we very much appreciate it. The Spotify, it's not going anywhere. We're still going to have the audio edition available on
Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts too.
Apple Podcasts as well. I've never even gone on that one. Look at that. What a Bush League operation we're running here. Ooh, look at that. See that? We've already got terrible jokes going. But we've already done this in the past. But for new viewers, we just kind of wanted to introduce the show, what we're about, what this show is going to be about, who we are. So, as Paul already mentioned, this is going to be a mixture of sports and comedy. We'll talk about what's going on in the world, sure, but we are not experts. We're not politicians. We're going to employ South Park rules. We're making fun of everything. So if you have a side when it comes to politics, I'm sorry. We're going to pick on it.
Yeah.
But I've said it many times on the Spotify edition, and I'll say it here for the first episode. I like to view sports as a form of escapism.
Oh, yeah.
2020's been a hell of a year. You guys need to get away from it. That's going to be our goal, just to bring you some entertainment. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, we're going to have you guys, you know, hit us on the Twitter, hit us up on the comments here in this little YouTube video. We're going to be all about engaging with you guys, having a lot of fun, and we hope you get on this ride and enjoy it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And, you know, like you said, we're not afraid to make fun of anyone. We'll poke fun at anyone, sports related, world related, whatever it may be, man. We're here to keep it light. We want people to listen, have a good time while they're listening. Enjoy us on your car ride to work if you still have to drive into work. I know not many people are doing that nowadays, but hey, man, we're just here to have a good time. We want everyone listening to enjoy, and we hope this YouTube channel can bring this to more people that, you know, we can expand this podcast out for. So I'm pumped. I apologize for my background right now. I will eventually have a more similar to the background and setup that Brett had. He kind of shocks me when he came on with his outfit.
You like the shades, bro?
I love it. It's
my goal.
Amazing, yeah.
I mean, we're the Bush League Bros. I got to look like a bro. I'm an intellectual bro. But, you know, my goal, I never want to wear sleeves on this podcast.
Yeah.
If I ever go hatless on this podcast, you know, you got to keep up appearances, man. I can't be a bro and then,
of course.
I mean, I like how
I have to step my game up. I have
You do.
a nice like Thanksgiving fall background right now.
Yeah,
This is
not a family-friendly podcast.
This is not. Yeah, exactly. It's a little out of the norm, but we'll get we'll step it up.
Man, I mean, again, the sweet bush can. That's a hell of a way to introduce.
Hell yeah, man. Should I just?
I'm not mad at it.
Camera? Can it stay?
No, we can't give them that much. Don't give them the product placement. They gotta earn it, pal. Love the joke, but they gotta earn it. Okay, we need that cash.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, look, your background's fine. This is gonna be for the first. We're learning here. I mean, really, what this podcast is. We are two students at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting for Full Sail University. We're online students. Paul's up there in Massachusetts. I'm down here in Florida.
Ooh.
We're going to have, I know.
COVID
capital of the world, baby. What a great thing.
what a great thing to be known for.
We've got enough COVID to talk about in this episode with actual sports. But
I know.
But whether it's Paul's background, whether it's the videos giving in or out, whether it's my face getting red because I'm already burning up here. I've turned every fan off. And this ring light that you can see in my sweet shades, those are not my eyes. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
I do like it, yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
It's pretty hot. So, we're gonna
It's pretty hot.
It's pretty hot, both temperature wise. I mean, man, look at me. I'm looking pretty good.
So the tank top is like, it's not just for looks, it's for practicality as well, right?
Dude, yeah, man. I don't have the AC on, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to cool myself. You're gonna see me drinking a lot of water. Audio might go in and out. We're learning, guys. Production quality will get better. We're gonna say a lot of dumb stuff. I can't promise that's not gonna get any better, but
yeah,
maybe we should just introduce ourselves, talk about who we are. Paul,
of course.
I think there's nothing more important. I mean, this is first and foremost a sports show, right?
Yes.
So they got to know who our sports teams are. We're going to make it very clear. If you can't already see some stuff in my background here, I don't know what you're doing. But, Paul, I want to know all your sports teams.
So for me, man, grew up in New England. It's all Boston, dude. It's all Boston, greatest sports city in the history of the planet. I mean, that's not really debatable at this point. If you look at all the championships,
not for the past 2 decades, right?
Yeah, exactly. Since I've been alive, it's we're the greatest sports town ever. But it's so Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins. Those are my teams. I'll occasionally root for another up and coming team that I like, but I don't bandwagon per se. I guess you could say that. I stay loyal to my teams. Will always be loyal to my teams.
You're not Drake?
I'm not Drake.
You're not
Drake.
That's
I mean, you. You're more of the bandwagon guy than I am.
What are you talking about?
You're all over the place.
Favorite team. Yeah, that's because I was raised properly, bro. Like, don't give it. Do you have before I get to mine? I will explain my geographically illogical fanhood, and I might have to take these glasses off. This little eyeball thing's freaking me out, but keep them on as long as I can here. Do you have no college team? I know you're not a big college guy, but who?
Not a big college guy. I would have to say my college team would be Alabama because
I'm not a bandwagon fan, but I like Alabama.
I have a good friend that's a Bama fan, and he turned me on to Roll Tide. I mean, they're like the Patriots of the college football, so it kind of fits, right?
Look, you can't be calling me a bandwagon fan and pick Alabama. God damn. I have friends that are Yankee fans. I'm not putting on the pinstripes.
True.
But all right, so let me explain. And I'm a little mad. This mic setup will be ever evolving.
Mm-hmm.
I got my little mini Cowboys Roger Staubach signed helmet back there. You can't even see. So first and foremost, Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh yeah.
For better or worse. Right now, it's certainly for worse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm with you for 2 teams. I am a Bruins and a Red Sox fan, and you can see the 2004 national championship, my favorite of all the Sox national championships, just because of what we did in the ALCS against the Yankees, right? And we broke the curse. And then
you just call it the national championship. It's not. You know better.
Did I say national championship? I'm sorry. Look at this. I've got my Florida Gator '96 national championship.
Yeah, that's exactly. You looked at that.
Quick read right there.
Red Sox national championship.
Red Sox national champions, world champions. They're champions.
Yeah, of course.
Hey,
they were. They weren't this year, but yeah.
Nope, but neither were the Yankees.
As we know, yeah, exactly. Neither were the Yankees. That's all that counts.
So that's good. So Gators, college, Magic. Sadly, that's my basketball team. And let me just explain it real quick because it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Florida. That explains the Magic. I grew up. My dad used to take me to a lot of games during the Penny era. What a time to grow up, though. In the 90s, as a Magic fan, electrifying. That's easy enough.
Amazing.
Gators, that's another easy one. Even though my dad hated Steve Spurrier, I'm also not a big Spurrier guy. My grandfather used to take me to a lot of Florida Gator games growing up when I was in elementary school and middle school. Mm-hmm. Easy explanation there. Need I say more? So let's talk about the Boston and Dallas dynamic. So see how people might go, oh, he's got to be a bandwagon fan. Yeah. Grew up in the 90s. But my dad was a Dallas Cowboy fan in the 70s. If you want to call anybody a bandwagon fan, you could probably argue that my dad was, because my family, they're from New England. They're from your area. My dad from Maine. You would think he'd be a Patriots fan. I mean, that's where my Red Sox and Bruins stuff go in. I grew up, watching them. So easy enough there. But the Cowboys, the story that I was told is that my dad is not a bandwagon fan. Mm-hmm. It was, in fact, that his older brother, my Uncle Mark, grew up a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And my dad, Batchelder's, we are natural instigators, as you've probably come to learn on this podcast. Yeah. People who know me already know.
I could believe it.
Yeah. Love to instigate. Batchelder's natural instigators. So my dad, being the young, up-and-coming Batchelder that he was, decided, who's the Steelers' big rival in the 70s? That would be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to root for them just to make my brother angry.
Yeah.
And so he stuck with him. Obviously, he fell in love with Tom Landry, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Mm-hmm. Can't not Bill Belichick. I get it. Yeah. And then I just happened to, grow up in the greatest Cowboys era of all.
True.
Arguably, nobody could say that those teams in the 90s, you could pick the 92, 93, 95 team. One of those three teams easily is a top 2 to 5 team. You could argue the greatest team of all time just from a pure talent standpoint.
Of course.
What a time to be alive.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying they're the greatest franchise ever, but if you pick one team, you might be picking one of those 90s Cowboys team. That's what I grew up in. You can't call me a bandwagon fan just because I have lived the Quincy Carter era, okay?
True.
I have seen Ryan Leaf and Vinny Testaverde
Drew Bledsoe
play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Drew Bledsoe
to me?
Yeah.
When we got Drew Bledsoe, that was exciting. That's how bad it got to be a Cowboys fan.
Of course.
And then, I am a lot of people hate him. I love me some Tony Romo.
Oh, I mean.
So I'm not mad about that. And now I got Dak.
In retrospect, Romo didn't win the big games, but if you can't look back and say Romo was a bad quarterback, you don't know football if you say that. So,
so that's I know I'm all over the place, but I hope that explains.
But respect, why I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you that if you grow up and one of your parents basically forces a team upon you, and then that becomes the team you root for, it's acceptable. You're not a bandwagon fan.
I was not forced. I am an American. I have my own free will. I chose wisely. I'd like to think I was raised properly.
Yeah.
And any team that's called America's team, if you hate on them, you must hate America. And I won't go into a anti-Philly rant right now, but it'll happen eventually. Not for a day. It might happen because I'm going to talk Eagles on this. But I gotta take these things off. I gotta take these things off here.
Yeah, it's about time. There we go. About time. There we go. Look
at those beautiful hazel eyes. Now I gotta start looking at the camera. I can hide not looking at the camera. Now I can't hide.
Nah, you gotta stare. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm solidarity. You have to look at the camera. I have to look at the camera. So
exactly.
We'll do this together.
We're trying. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do what we do. And as far as how this podcast is going to come out, as far as the schedule, right now we're going to keep it pretty loose and free. Typically we do Monday night and Friday night recordings. We are recording on a Friday night right now, but hey, things happen. Sometimes Paul likes to go out. Sometimes I like to go out. We'll push it to a Saturday. Sometimes this.
We have to talk. We might have to switch it up because I just got a different job, new employment today, so we might be switching it up. So
Lex, congratulations.
We won't commit to the schedule currently.
No. But, typically it's been Mondays and Fridays, but I mean this Monday it wasn't going to happen because we got Cowboys on Monday Night Football against the Cardinals that I'll talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe Tuesday, but our goal is to put out 2 a week. You subscribe to the channel, you'll know when it's coming out. You subscribe to the Spotify, you follow us on Twitter, you'll see when these episodes come out.
Absolutely.
But our goal, 2 episodes a week. And again, is it going to be the greatest podcast right away? Yes, absolutely. But more realistically, no, we're here. We're learning. Our goal is to get a little better each and every time. Mm-hmm. And I hope you can put up with us for a little bit. So
I hope so too.
Paul, do you have anything else that you want to tell the people before we get into actually talking about sports?
I don't. I want to talk about sports. Let's go.
You want to talk about? I mean, we're a sports show.
We're a
we
sports
probably gotta
show.
do it.
We
So
like to talk sport. Let's get into it. Yeah.
I am dehydrated here, but we're going to talk some Major League Baseball.
Let's go. Yeah.
Been kind of a boring topic for us. You know, our Red Sox, they stink.
Mm-hmm.
We did celebrate on the last episode on Spotify. You can check it out. The Yankees. We celebrated their loss to the Rays. Our predictions for the World Series not looking great right now.
Not good. Not good.
Not at all.
Not good for, and we discussed this a lot, not good for baseball in general. Right? Like,
correct, because nobody wants to watch Braves and Rays unless you're a Braves and Rays fan.
Yeah,
if you are, congratulations, but we're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Rays-Braves is maybe the most boring World Series of the past, 15 years? Yeah.
I mean, ironically, like the last boring one that I can think of was probably Rays and Phillies.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was probably.
I mean, the Phillies were
like Phillies. Yeah, I mean, and not that Atlanta isn't a big market, and they don't, they don't have a lot of passionate fans, but it's I feel like it's never good when this happens rarely where like two teams, because Atlanta's really not that far from Tampa, right?
Yeah, the geography.
Two teams in like similar markets make it to that aren't necessarily. I mean, it works if it's like two LA teams or like two, teams from the Northeast. It can work, right? But it's not good. Like, you want to pull people from different areas. I feel like,
Sure.
But we've had some good baseball, man. I mean, there's been some great games. Yeah.
And I think you're right. I mean, you could argue that's been the problem. We'll talk about college football here in a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could argue that's been the problem with college football for the last several years because it's either Clemson and Florida State versus an SEC team. Maybe Ohio State here and there to switch it up, but the West Coast, the North, haven't had a lot of football to be happy about. So
exactly.
Sticking with baseball, though.
Mm-hmm.
Astros, the Houston Asterix, everyone's least favorite team after the whole cheating scandal a few years ago when they beat the Dodgers. They've been trailing this entire time. I know they're playing right now. I'll check on the score here in a little bit.
They're up. I just checked. Up? Yeah, they were up pretty bit. Oh, 7-4 now. Top 9th, though. They're going to win.
7-4 Houston?
7-4 Houston, top 9,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep track of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
looks like it's going 7. Yeah.
I hope so, because right now they're in a 3-2 deficit. But weren't they in a 3-0 deficit? Am I wrong?
I thought they were only down 3-1. I think they were. Yeah, they were.
Okay,
down.
you could.
But they were down 2. They were definitely down 2-1. I believe. But yeah.
Okay.
How crazy would it be? It would be very 2020. I know we had said this that we needed Astros and
gotta have Astros,
Dodgers, right?
That
was the hope. But how 2020 would it be if the Astros won the World Series?
It'd be very 20. I mean, we didn't do a just 2020 segment thing on here.
We didn't, but that's 2020.
It would fit. Yeah. It would fit.
That goddamn Astros win the World
Series. The cheaters prosper,
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? And I think it's exciting that they're doing this rally right now. Game 5, they had the walk-off home run by Carlos Correa. Yep. Apparently their manager, Dusty Baker, said Correa called the walk-off. He said I'm going to go end this or something like that. Interesting. I don't know if he really Babe Ruth.
I feel like guys say that all the time, though, I'm sure, when they're heading out of the dugout.
Well, you want to have that mindset.
Yeah.
But I also, even if it's not true, even if he didn't say it, I like it because that's what baseball needs, some of this juice going for it. So,
I mean,
people are going to watch to see them lose or get mad
when they win. Yeah. Is it good for it's bad for baseball if they win, right? Or is it good? Because you could argue
if they win this series or if they win the World Series.
They win the World Series, yeah.
Is it bad? I don't know.
Because you could argue
they shouldn't be allowed to play in the postseason.
True, and all those guys should be suspended, right? Like the guys that partook, should have got suspended for an entire year, right? But you could make the argument that I don't know that. They shouldn't even have been able to play this year, that they ratted out basically their manager and whatever, but we all know that they were all complicit
100%.
in everything that happened. So
there wouldn't have been a cheating scandal if they refused to cheat.
Exactly.
Right?
But on the flip side, is it good for baseball? Because if they win the World Series, or even if they make it to the World Series, and when the whole scandal broke, that was the biggest baseball news in 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? Baseball hadn't been that relevant since maybe I don't know, maybe the home run chase. Now, maybe not that, but Probably since like you know what I mean?
No, I mean those middle 2000 years when the Red Sox and Yankees
True.
rivalry was
I'll give you that.
that
Yeah,
was probably the most interesting. But yeah, I mean,
but that was
I
like the
think
biggest nationwide news about baseball in
I think
a
it's
long
good
time.
for
Yeah,
baseball. Yeah,
that's what
but
I
I think
mean.
it's good for baseball because baseball needs a villain. That's
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much as I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's great about the Yankees because you either love the Yankees
Yep.
or
Or
if
you
you're a
hate them.
decent person, you hate the Yankees. You know what I mean? So baseball
Exactly.
hasn't had a villain because the Yankees haven't been relevant since
Yeah.
2009.
What? 2009.
They
What?
haven't done anything since they haven't been, and even then, that was like one year, and
Me
they
and
hadn't
Brett
done
were
anything.
still in high school, right?
No, I was nine. The joke I like to make is they haven't won anything since I was a teenager. I was 19 in 2009. Now I'm in my 30s, and it's beautiful. And the Red
Yeah.
Sox have won multiple in that time. So
Hey, the
in the last
Yankees
2 decades, it's been all Red Sox.
exactly.
I'm
So,
about it.
but yeah, I mean, you got to be rooting for. I'm rooting for the Astros at this point to come back in the series. It looks like
I
it's
want them
going
to
Game
win.
7. Yeah,
And I won't. For baseball, I'll be a little disappointed if the Rays win, just because that's going to hurt ratings, and I probably won't watch. But again, like I mentioned last time, in our celebration for a Yankees loss, if they win the World Series, you know, this is probably the year for them to win the World Series. No one really cares, and you've earned it because you eliminated the Yankees. You know, you want to do me a favor, I'll do you a favor. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You scratch my back, I'll root for you. So,
right, let's go.
Over in the National League, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, these talk about just 2020 things. This is just Dodgers things.
Yeah, this isn't out of the norm for the Dodgers.
Just dump it.
Yeah.
They had an amazing game the other night where they had 11 runs in the first inning.
Yeah,
ended up winning that game, and you had to feel like, okay, it's 2-1 now.
Yeah.
Here comes the Dodgers. Then what do? They throw up a stinker, lose 10-2 to the Braves in Game 4. Now they're down 3-1. I know they're playing tonight. They could be eliminated tonight. I hate it for Mookie and Joe Kelly, our former Red Sox. I hate it for baseball. But isn't this just the most Dodger thing ever?
Oh, of course, yeah. The Dodgers, they're as much
as the new curse, right?
They can complain about that. Yeah, the Astros, stole the World Series, yada yada. They probably think the Red Sox did too, right?
We were proving Cora.
Yeah, exactly. But they probably think that we stole it from them, right? But I mean, they choke. That's what they do in the playoffs every year. They choke, and because they always have the best team. Arguably, over the past 5 years, they've had the best team going into the playoffs, and best pitching, best just overall team, and they just can't seal the deal, dude. They're like the '90s, early '90s Buffalo Bills, dude. Just can't get it done, dude.
Yeah, I mean how many World Series have they been in?
That's what I mean. Like 3.
They lost to us. They lost
to the Dodgers,
to the Astros.
Or I'm sorry, yeah.
Well, they are the Dodgers.
Yeah, they are.
Who won the World Series last year?
The Nationals.
Okay, but the Nationals beat the Dodgers to get there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they beat the Nationals beat the Astros.
And the in the World Series, yeah. But I mean, the Nationals were the worst team supposedly in the NL last year that made it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
made it to the playoffs. And the Dodgers were the best. They blew it. So I don't know. It's hard for me to feel bad for an LA team again since they have Mookie Betts and Joe Kelly on there, who I absolutely love.
Yeah,
it's tougher this time. But I don't know if I feel bad for guys like Clayton Kershaw and stuff like that because they never seem to come up big when it matters.
Yeah, no. I mean, Kershaw, I'll give it to him. He's kind of broken that monkey off. Like he has performed well in certain playoff games, but there's still something that's different. I mean, it's pitching in the playoffs is a whole different animal. I think.
Yeah.
I think the more you do it, the more experience you get with it. Like it's a real thing. But it's got to be weird this year because a lot of that's got to come from the crowd, that difference where, you know what I mean? Because where else does that really come from, that difference in pressure and where you feel it in the stadium? If you've ever been to a big MLB playoff game, it's entirely different.
Totally different environment. Yep.
Oh my God. It's absolutely insane compared to a regular season where everyone's just there to have a hot dog and drink a beer, right? Like the playoffs are serious. So
I could go for a hot dog and a beer right now. I ain't gonna lie
it
to
would,
you.
yeah, it sounds great,
Sounds
right? Yeah.
great.
Love to be at Fenway right now watching the Red Sox, but
it's that time of year. But nope.
Anyways, so I mean, can the Dodgers come back? Who knows? I mean, I don't think so. The Braves, maybe the Braves got a good, they clearly do.
The Braves have a great young team.
Exactly.
I did not expect them to win this series because I thought they have a lot of good talent, but I just thought they were all too young. And maybe because of I know there are some fans there. I know it's not packed houses. I know there are some fans at these games, but maybe because they don't have that pressure of the fans, maybe it's helping these young kids. Maybe they're not feeling like it's the moment. Maybe they just feel like it's spring training or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's got to kind of feel like that where, it's not that many people in the crowd. There can't be like that much pressure. Yeah. And so all these games are taking place, right? So it's the Braves, Dodgers, Astros.
They're in Texas.
Yeah, and Rays. So like there's no cold weather games either. You know what I mean? Like, so it's that kind of feels weird about like I was actually thought about that the other day. I was like, oh wow, there's like no, at least like right now in the championship series, there's no cold weather games. Like, so like I remember there was there was like a really cold game in that LA Boston series, wasn't there? There was like a game where it was like 40 degrees out. They were playing.
Oh yeah, and they're all wearing hoodies and long sleeves.
But that's a whole
October baseball.
But that's a whole different animal too. You know what I mean? Like that makes a difference too. Like if you're a warm weather team and you go to play in that, especially pitching's it's hard to warm up or stay warm like that.
The teams that can play small, and that's why the Red Sox in 2018 I think were so good. They could play heavy hitting. I mean, like they could launch them out of the park all day, but they could also play small ball, and that's a big thing in in cold weather games. Not really a thing when you're in Texas in the middle of October. So
true.
It's interesting. We'll keep an eye out for it. Hopefully, we get our way and we get Dodgers and Astros. If not, congratulations to either team. We'll follow up with it, but we're gonna take a little break here.
Let's do it.
I gotta hydrate. You guys see me. I'm sipping out of this damn cup like 18 times already in the 30 minutes that we've been going.
Yeah.
When we come back, we've talked baseball. We're going to talk a little pigskin. We're going to talk a little college football. We're going to talk a little NFL. It's going to be fun. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. You are listening to Bush League Bros Sports Talk. Brett Batchelder here with Paul. As I said, it's time to talk a little football. We're going to start with something we haven't talked a whole lot about. I feel like every time I mention college football, I have the little caveat. We haven't talked a lot about it. We're going to dig in this time. I promise. We're going to talk about it.
Let's do it.
Sadly, a lot of what we got to talk about is COVID. I don't like to talk about COVID on this show. Paul may like to talk about COVID on this show. He's already called me out.
They call me Paul.
The COVID King?
No, well, they call me the COVID King. That's one of my nicknames. But they also call me Paul, aka Junior Dr. Fauci. If you weren't aware,
no one has ever called you that. I'm not going to call you that. Let's stop that.
Let me pull up my spreadsheets before we start talking.
Where's your
COVID
mask, bro? I feel like I'm getting COVID through the
screen.
Yeah,
You probably are.
I feel like I'm electronically contracting COVID.
How many times? Just a side. How many times? I know for me, there's been a few. How many times since COVID's happened have you been convinced that you had COVID?
Once, and I got tested, and I didn't have it. So
okay, I've been tested twice. Thought the first time I didn't think I had it, but the second time definitely thought I had it.
Did you do the test where they shove it right up your nose?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
awful.
The first one though, they just did a swab in my mouth.
Well, that's not what they did for me.
Clearly, I probably had COVID, and they didn't.
Let's just
because clearly none of these tests.
You're probably the super spreader that started it.
From what we're seeing, clearly none of these tests even work. What we've been seeing with sports,
especially in the NFL, and we'll get there in a little bit. But college, hate that we have to talk COVID because of it, but I think I mentioned it on the last podcast, and it just got worse.
Gators had some positives,
Gators, watch the game. They were supposed to be at, I think, 20,000 capacity. They had way more than that. They were probably pushing 50, 60. Those stands were packed. Nobody was socially distanced. And I text my buddy Dustin, like, dude, here comes COVID. Like, the Gators are going to get COVID.
Yep.
Sure enough, they got COVID. They kept getting COVID. Now their big matchup with the defending champs. I know they've had a rough season, but anytime Florida plays LSU, it's always a good game.
Yep.
That game has been postponed. I think that's going to happen later this season. Gators, I guess, now get a bye week, which the defense kind of needs. But there was 2 other games that were also canceled due to COVID. That were in the top 10. There's been plenty more.
Mm-hmm.
We had the number 8 Cincinnati taking on Tulsa. That's been canceled. And number 7 Oklahoma State, who I think is really that conference's only chance to getting in the playoffs now.
Yeah.
What's happened to Oklahoma and Texas that we've already talked about. They were supposed to play Baylor. That's not happening. So we've got 3 top 10 matchups gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty boring if you ask me. And we don't really need to dive into that. That's just news. They've been canceled. They'll happen later. The big news for me, and I don't understand this at all, and this is a little concerning, but Nick Saban on Wednesday tested positive for COVID.
But then he's negative.
He is in line to be on the sidelines on Saturday to play, and it's a huge game.
But he tested negative
versus
now.
Alabama.
That's why
He has to have 3 consecutive negatives, and I think he's at 2 now. I think he has to test negative again tomorrow morning, and he can be there. And he's been coaching virtually this week. I get that they're number 2 and they're hosting number 3 Georgia. That's a huge game. But can you tell me how he tested positive on Wednesday and now he's already negative? Are we doing double positives or false positives, whatever the hell we're talking about? This just doesn't seem like a good idea.
So there's clearly a portion of these that are real, right? Like I'm not saying that no, people aren't getting COVID. Like I think it's definitely happening. There's been, but I think in the NFL and in the collegiate level, these cases where we're seeing where there's 1 or 2 and then no one else gets it on the whole team. I don't understand how that happens. It has to be a false positive when it's like that. If one guy gets it and then the rest of it's more players down the line start getting it, clearly these guys really had it. And obviously they know who really has it because they test them multiple times over a period of days. Yeah. But this whole thing where there's one test and it's a positive and then everything gets shut down. And then it's how can we sustain this where just one test, everything shut down. Oh, it was a false positive. We didn't need to actually shut everything down. But, and now, and then and then, these kids, they hear that one was a false positive. They're COVID's not, Yeah. Think of the mindset of a college student that these kids don't care.
Nope.
And to the point you made about that Florida team with all the they had all the fans there, right? So you got to think, if you're a football player, you're a college football player, what's the best perk besides being able to play on national TV, potentially go into the NFL? What is the best perk of being a college football player on a big campus?
It's the popularity.
You're the biggest dude on campus.
Yeah,
you get whatever you go. You get whatever chicks you want. You do whatever you want outside. You're the man on campus. So you're telling me you're gonna pack 60,000 people to go crazy for these kids, and then after the game, be hey guys, just go back to the dorms.
Go
everyone isolate. Yeah.
At 20 years old.
Everyone isolate in their room.
I ain't doing that.
Practice.
I'll tell you that right now. That ain't
exactly, man. So I feel so bad for these. Of course they're catching COVID because they're probably all going out partying after the games. Because, I'm sure they're trying to track all these kids, but if they're putting those wristbands on them, I'm sure they're leaving those in the dorm room. And
I haven't heard any of them doing. I know the NFL's doing the wristbands. I haven't heard any colleges do the wristbands.
I think there's. I saw a couple stories. Some of the definitely some of the big schools that have a ton of money are doing it because I don't think it's cheap to GPS track everyone at all times.
Probably not.
Even though they can do it with their cell phones anyway, so I don't really.
Yeah, the government's already doing that. I'm being tracked right now. So are you all at home? Sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah. I'm not a big fan of this whole COVID situation. Mm-hmm. I love going to college football games. I know you're not a big college guy, but the atmosphere there, it is a lot different than going to the pro. It's a lot more wild. The tailgating's a lot different. It's a great time. And going to the Swamp, I try to go to the Swamp once a year. Doesn't mean I always do, but it's awesome. Love it big time,
yeah.
but you can't do it right now. I know the SEC has advantages and the ACC does because they started earlier.
Yeah.
But like the other conferences, Ohio State's getting ready to play not this weekend, but next weekend. That whole conference,
same shit with them though.
If they miss any games, they're not going to have any time to make it up.
No. And dude, the only thing we joked like the SEC is like clearly going to win the national championship because
it means
like no one else was playing, but like no one else was playing. We joked about that, a couple months ago. But like the only way the SEC, someone from the SEC might not win, I guess Clemson could still do it, but like is the only way that I feel like they're gonna not win or not like have at least 2 or 3 teams in the college football playoffs if like they just can't play because all the SEC teams are letting fans come and too many people get COVID. I feel like that's the only plausible scenario where
it's possible
the SEC doesn't dominate again. So. And it feels like we're on a track towards that, where just all these SEC schools, where all their because it's so much different. Because I can speak to it a little bit because I was living there in Orlando in the area you're in. It's completely different in the Northeast, dude. Like if you don't wear a mask in somewhere, dude, like you're like. It's like you're assaulting another human being, which I don't think is like I don't like that.
Hippies up there, oh my, you hippie liberals! Oh my god,
you goddamn liberals in the Northeast with your masks and your fucking science and like
science. Get out of here!
That's exactly how it feels, dude. That's exactly how it feels. And when I was in Orlando, I wore a mask, but I felt like I was weird because no one else wore one. Yeah,
I mean, you are weird, but it has nothing to do with whether you're wearing a mask or not.
True, that's true.
Congratulations. And we're gonna have to talk a little bit about COVID because of your Patriots here in a little bit. So I'm gonna end the COVID talk for right now. I don't want to go too far into that. We've talked ad nauseum about how this damn COVID thing is going to ruin college football and how college football's handled it. You can check out another podcast that we have on Spotify, but I do want to ask one question to kind of close out our college football talk here. You mentioned him a little earlier, Clemson. I know the SEC is by far the best conference in college football, but I got to ask you, with the COVID stuff, even without the COVID stuff, is there even any point to this season? Is Trevor Lawrence just walking through? Is anybody going to be able to stop Clemson?
Nah, man, they're too good, dude. You're right. And when I said that, that's why I had to like caveat. I was like, the only way the SEC doesn't run it.
You covered yourself.
I was like, well, Clemson. And I was like, I mean, it goes back to what I told you, dude. Like, dude, Trevor Lawrence is Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, a lock Hall of Famer quarterback. Like, that's how I feel about him.
Well, this wasn't planned. Is Andrew Luck a Hall of Famer?
He would have been if he kept playing. Yeah.
When he
might still be.
When he comes back. He is not a Hall of Famer right now if he doesn't come back. No chance.
Want to hear a Paul conspiracy theory?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Andrew Luck comes back. Cam Newton plays great this year, but he's going to want too much money. He's going to want too much money. Andrew Luck comes back next year.
The Colts would never give up the rights for the Patriots. No chance.
They might.
No chance. They would never do that. They would never help out.
We'll finally give them
Josh. Disgusting.
We'll give them Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
We'll finally let Josh McDaniels go.
The sad thing is what's coming to mind is them announcing that Andrew Luck is considering coming out of retirement. And all that's playing in my head, I don't know if you've seen this meme on Instagram, is Bill Belichick walking out with the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme music in the background, and they're going, "Oh my God!"
That's exactly what I'm picturing.
Coming to my mind because I can absolutely see it happening. That makes me sick. But with this horrible talk, stop talking about your Patriots right now. We'll go into the NFL right now.
We'll get them later. Yeah,
you've got plenty of time to talk about them. I just don't want to think about it right now. Biggest news coming out of the NFL, in my opinion, this week, not COVID related, is the Jets. We'll start with Le'Veon Bell. They couldn't find a trading partner. We talked about that on the last episode because in the last episode we found out he was released. We have since found out Le'Veon Bell signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. I have my opinions on this. I don't like it. Do you like it?
I'm biased because he is in my fantasy team, stash on the roster. Mm-hmm. So it's a plus for me. But
Do you think he'll be good in fantasy on the Chiefs?
It's a pass catching back with Mahomes as his quarterback. I mean, he's not the same guy. That's clear,
Nope.
right? Like that's clear,
agree.
but it's, I think he can be productive on the Chiefs. What's his name has cooled off a lot. Like he had a
Clyde
big,
Edwards-Helaire?
yeah, he had a big game to start the year. I know we had talked about him as a sleeper, but he's cooled off a little bit. So, I mean, that I feel like that's the only reason he signed there, or that they brought him in, is because of that.
And that's why I hate it.
Yeah, and yeah, I think he'll be productive there. It's tough. It's like you got to really suck to not be productive in that offense, right? Like you have to like almost try to not be good at football, to not be productive with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. So I think he'll do well there. I think doubling back to the Jets, like goddamn, it's like we talked about it last week, man. It just feels so good to like have the Jets just be like such a shit show, because
it's our one constant in life.
It's just
the one thing we know.
Because even the Browns are doing good, so it just shows you, 2020 is just the craziest thing, but the Jets will always just be the Jets, man. So makes me feel good to see them self-destruct after 5 games.
We'll get into that destruction here in a second. I mean, this was really the tip of the ice. This is issue 1 with the Jets of a myriad that we're about to talk about. I don't like this for Kansas City. For fantasy, maybe he has value. I think
he's a cancer.
Lost in the show. I think even without him being a cancer.
Yeah.
Because, you go to a good team, a cancer can shut up real quick when they're winning. I mean, look at people could call Jamal Adams a cancer. Now he's over in Seattle having the time of his life because he got, from where? The Jets to a good organization in Seattle. Yeah. So while that's a very real possibility, I hate it for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Mm-hmm. I think, okay, he's had a couple of games where meh, but it's early in the season. I don't want to slow his momentum. I don't want to slow his growth. I feel like Le'Veon Bell is going to take a lot of that away. I don't know that Le'Veon Bell will be the featured back, because I do agree with you. Not sure he's the same. In a pass-catching situation, do I like it? Yes, because I think if you can get Edwards-Helaire in the backfield, Le'Veon Bell, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, if you can do some kind of weird personnel formation where it's a weird, a weird 12-man, 12 personnel or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little innovative. Andy Reid will figure it out. But I feel like I don't expect consistent big games from him.
No, yeah.
And I guess
the big thing is like he'll catch, probably 3 or 4 more balls out of the backfield per game. Like And Mahomes,
I guess my problem with it is what it's going to do to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I know the Chiefs are going to be fine. If he is a cancer, you can just let him go. Like this isn't going to ruin it for the Chiefs.
I think it's also
I don't like this move for their rookie running back.
What have we seen from the Chiefs over the past few years is they've had one guy that's kind of the stud. What's his name that opted out this year? Damian Williams, right? Like he was kind of their stud for the 2 years, but it was also always kind of like running back by like committee. Like they had a solid like core group of running backs that they could pop in place. And I think one thing they've been missing this year is that kind of solid group of backs. And that's why I think they're bringing Le'Veon in. It's not as much that I think he's going to be the starter. You're right. Like, I don't think that he's going to be the feature back, that he's not going to get 25, 30 carries a game. Like, practically no running back does that anymore. But I think they're bringing him in to put depth at that position. And I mean, dude, the Chiefs are like the Warriors of the NFL now, dude. If you want to go like win a championship and be on the best team.
I thought that was going to be Tampa Bay, but I guess not.
No, it's the Chiefs. Yeah.
People riding with Patty instead of Brady.
True. Yeah.
Can't really blame him, but let's pivot back to the Jets here. Again, that was just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Now, all week we've been hearing insane things. Okay,
dude.
We know their first round pick this year, Mekhi Becton, tackle, looked like he was going to be a pretty solid player.
Yeah.
We know he's out for the year. But their last 2 number 1 picks in 18 and 19, quarterback Sam Darnold and their defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, first round, I think it was like the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
Are apparently on the trading block after 2 and 1 year. What's going on in Jets land? They need to just – I feel like I could say they hit the reset button, but I feel like they do it every other year and nothing's working.
Exactly.
What in the hell is going on with this team?
You know how insane it would be? Like, so if they're gonna do that, like they are banking on being the worst team in the NFL and getting
Trevor Lawrence,
right?
They have to.
But it would so be the Jets for them to trade Darnold and then like somehow end up with like the second pick.
Joe Flacco wins like 5 games in a row. Like
Dude, they end up getting the second pick or some shit, and Lawrence goes.
Not even the second. You have to say like they get like the 4th or 5th pick, so they miss out on Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and that other kid I think at North Dakota State.
Exactly. Yeah,
or wherever Wentz came from.
Yeah, no, Fields is legit too, but that's what I mean. Like they ended up missing out on the quarterback. They trade away Darnold, and then they miss out on the next quarterback. It's crazy, dude. Like I saw kind of a good story this week where you can't give up on Darnold yet, dude, because I saw something that was talking about Tannehill, who did Tannehill have as his coach in Miami for a long period of time?
I believe he had Mr.
Adam Gase, right?
Who was the head coach of the Jets.
Who was the head coach of the Jets. So, like, and then, I mean, not that he's a superstar now, but he's playing good football in Tennessee, right? Like,
they are the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Exactly. So the story I read was about, don't judge these guys when they have terrible coaches, terrible, like, people that are leading them that are just putting them in horrible situations.
Yeah.
I think Darnold can be a good player. That's what I mean. Like, clearly Gase is such a terrible coach. I don't get you can't give up on Darnold before you give up on Gase. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, dude.
A friendship with Peyton Manning can only mean so much. And I know in a previous podcast I gave the stats for when he had Peyton Manning as his quarterback versus when he was never higher than I think 17th in total offense.
I've never even understood that, dude.
I feel like I could be a good quarterback coach or offensive coordinator with Peyton Manning. Hey, Peyton, go up there, read the defense. You know more than I do. Do what you do.
What guy has needed a coach less than Peyton Manning?
That's what I'm saying.
Ever. Yeah. And then you're gonna give Adam Gase credit for that? Like
I'm not
the smartest, maybe the smartest quarterback to ever play. You know, he could read a defense, at the line of scrimmage. You know, that was all Peyton Manning. That wasn't Adam Gase from the sidelines, telling him what to do.
Sure wasn't. Sure was.
I've always thought that was the craziest shit when people they're like, oh, he was Peyton Manning's quarterback coach. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Peyton Manning was his own coach. Like, no, I don't get it. I gotta
say, you're not getting a first-round pick for Sam Darnold. You're not getting a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams because of, his gun charges that he had in the offseason a couple years ago that we're still waiting to see how that plays out.
Did he do wasn't he doing 97 over
probably? I think
pulled
so.
over guns in the car?
I mean, he's young and he's a millionaire. He did some stupid stuff. I mean, can't say I wouldn't do anything different if I was in his situation, but I mean, I hope I would do something different, but I don't know.
Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite stories. When no one gets hurt, but it's just clearly
absolutely stupid.
You're so you're just you're nothing can touch me. I'm a NFL football player. I'm gonna do 110 in my car with weed, smoking weed and an open bottle of alcohol. Yeah, exactly.
Doing what you do, doing what young kids do. Not that it's right, but
just rolling, dude. Yeah.
Even if you did get first round picks for both of them, the Jets have proven they can't build. Yeah, you won't. But the Jets have proven they can't build a football team. So
no.
I don't want to do that for Trevor Lawrence. But the Jets, you're a mess. I'm sick and tired. I don't want to talk about the Jets anymore. I want to talk about some surprises here.
Let's do it, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it can be good or bad.
Yep.
I'll start here. Mine is good. I'm going to start with some positive here. My surprise team through 5 games of the season is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to our predictions for the NFC North,
we thought they were going to stink.
Yeah, I was under the assumption, as soon as I heard that old Mitchie T was going to be their starter, I was all out on the Bears. I thought it was a stupid move. I hear you popping another cold one over there. Very nice. Man, you put it on multiple cans?
Mm-hmm.
You switch it over?
I had one already open, and I showed you the one that had the thing on it. Yeah. For those of you listening strictly, the joke is I have a Bud Light can that I taped Bush onto to mess with Brett because I said we're gonna get Bush Light to sponsor our podcast, which will happen one day. It will happen.
We are as the great Ernie Johnson would say. Right now, we are unsullied by sponsorship, but we are also a pair of sellouts. Money talks, okay, and we'll absolutely listen to the dollar bills, y'all.
Exactly.
But going over to my surprise team, Chicago Bears, as I mentioned. I was all out on them. I thought between them and the Lions, they would be the worst teams in this division because of Mitch Trubisky. What do? They bench Trubisky. Poor Atlanta Falcons have to deal with Big Dick Foles doing another, like right after the Cowboys come back on him.
Yep.
The Bears come back on him. And I know they didn't play well against the Colts, but this defense, man, they are playing lights out. They're averaging 0.4 points a game. That's all they're allowing.
Yeah.
And that game that they lost against the Colts, their only loss on the season was 19-11. I can't get mad at the defense for the offense only putting up 11 points.
Yeah.
And then
Trubisky played that game, right?
Nope. It's all Foles since the Atlanta game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Old Biskies is on the bench.
No, but I'm saying, did Trubisky lose that Colts game?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that was 2
Foles,
weeks ago. It was Foles. Right. But I feel like the defense is re-energized. They're playing better with him. And they just went into Tampa Bay, beat the Bucs last week 20-19.
Big win.
They're a playoff team right now. They're looking good. I don't know how long it's going to last. I was going to say like the Raiders or something as my surprise team, but I feel like I've kind of given them enough of their, given them their due credit. So I'm going with a different team. Chicago Bears, my surprise team. Will it last? I don't know. I mean, the Packers are still going to win that division. Can the Vikings come back? Maybe. But right now, Packers fans, you got to be excited because this team does seem re-energized with old Nicky Foles running the show.
Yeah, no. And I think, with the Bears, like we knew they would have a good defense. And I think with the Bears, though, like we're seeing this out of them. I'm not necessarily shocked, right? Like, because like they have a good defense, you expect they can win some games, but they're totally a team where their fans are going to get like excited for them. They're not a team that's like built. They can't win a playoff game, like unless.
Oh, wait a minute.
Unless Foles goes on like.
Let's not insult the Bears or Big Dick Foles. We've seen him do it with the Eagles.
But you're saying he's going to do that again? Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but let's not count them out as far as winning a playoff game. First of all, do they get matched up against the 2-3 Dallas Cowboys in the first round? Anything's possible. Do they get the NFC East in the first round? It's possible.
True.
Look, Foles he's got a Super Bowl MVP to his name and a deserved one. The offense is that Philly offense. Matt Nagy came from that team. And they're built very similar. They've got a great defense. My concern about the Bears was they got Khalil Mack. That guy's arguably the best pass rusher in the NFL.
Monster.
That guy's he's just an absolute stud. But my concern was that defense was going to be on the field so often because Mitch Trubisky's going 3 and out or throwing an interception. It's going to wear down. And you can't be out there all day. Yeah. Nick Foles, he can manage it. I like Devin Singletary. I feel like Allen Robinson's going to want to stick around now because he's going to be able to actually catch a throw or a catchable ball. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying they're a surprise. I did not expect them to be 4-1. They got Carolina. I don't care that it's in Carolina. They got the Panthers this weekend. They could easily 6 weeks into the season be sitting at 5-1.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been shocking to start the year, or I'm shocked that they have looked as good as they've done in some of these games. Like I said, I don't know that it's sustainable, and I think
not predicting world beaters.
But I mean, if you have a good enough defense, man, if your defense keep you in games, like Foles will get you 20, 25 points, and if that defense, it is good enough to hold teams under that consistently, so. You never know, man. You
never know.
It just feels like to me, man, like the Bears feel like, God, they almost feel like they're like becoming like the Houston Rockets of football, where like,
like they haven't been that good that long.
They haven't been that good, but like like they get hyped up and like, they're going to be in the playoffs, but
I'm
like
not hyping them
everyone
up.
knows that they're going
Said
to
they're
blow it.
a surprise. They
I
might
know.
blow it. Let's be nice to Bears Nation. All right. Let's be
True.
nice
The
to them.
Bears.
Trying
The
to be a
Bears.
positive. This is our first episode on YouTube, and you're over here, just breaking hearts over here.
Negative Nancy. Yeah.
Why don't you go to the Cleveland Steamers with your surprise pick? Let's just go with them.
I mean, my surprise is the Cleveland Browns, dude. I mean, they're looking like an actual football team for the first time in my lifetime, I think.
Ugh.
I don't remember the last time they were.
Why are we disrespecting Derek Anderson? They went 10-6 with Derek Anderson, okay? Come on. And then those years
you just brought up Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson, baby.
True.
Why are we hating on this?
What year was that? That was like early 2000s, right?
Yeah, it was like 2004, 2005,
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
It was random because even as a 14, 15-year-old, I was like,
that don't seem right.
That can't be
exactly
allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
why are they your surprise pick? What are you liking about the Browns?
I mean, I think Stefanski is a good coach, dude. I really think that's a big, like, Freddie Kitchens was a joke, and I think like that became clear as we went through his last year, and I think Stefanski stepped in there, man. He's really he's given that offense a spark that it should have had last year, and it should have always had, right? And I think they can build on that. They have a great defense, man. Like, they have a ton of talented guys on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, they've been a great team. Do I think it's going to continue? Not this week, but I have been surprised by the Browns, man. Like I said, I mean, you got to be surprised when like they haven't been. I haven't actually like thought, okay, like maybe the Browns are actually a good team in my entire life. I've never had that thought even once in my entire life. Even the years where like there was like last year when they had all that hype going into the year. I was like,
I was way out on him.
I had so many friends.
I knew Baker couldn't handle that.
Our friend that we brought on the podcast, Mike Fabian, last year telling me that, the Browns are going to be good. And it just, like, I knew, you know what I mean? I was like, they're the Browns, dude. Like, it's not going to happen for you. Like, I'm sorry. And this might be the year that they actually are good. That's what, I guess that would be my biggest shocking surprise. And it would happen. It would happen in 2020. The Browns would win the Super Bowl in 2020. That would. And
Browns
then
are not winning the Super Bowl in 2020.
But then the world would end. Yeah. I think we talked about this. If that happens, like, then we know the world's going to end.
Again, Cthulhu's coming in Christmas. We're not making it to 2020.
What is Cthulhu? What is Cthulhu? Is that like a hurricane or a meteor?
What is Cthulhu? He's the big god monster. Have you ever watched South Park?
Not a ton. I'm not a huge South Park guy. I've seen some episodes.
Oh my God. He's like an interdimensional god that people worship and sacrifice people. He's got big tentacles.
All right, so he's coming.
All right. I'm not. Yeah.
No, if the Browns win the Super Bowl,
he's to a portal and he's killing us all. It's going to happen.
I believe it. Yeah.
We're going to be a positive show now. I'm talking about some interdimensional god killing us all.
I like
Let's get this show on the road here, man. We got to talk some picks. I know where you're going with this first one. Mm-hmm. But before I get to there, I did my homework finally. I kept saying it on multiple podcasts, although we haven't done picks in a little bit because we didn't have a Thursday night game to talk about. Yeah. And we took a little hiatus, so we haven't done picks in a while. Mm-hmm. But I went back, scoured the record books, looking a little bleak right now for both of us. I'm not even going to brag.
You're doing all right, though.
I'm at 10-7.
Yeah.
And it should be a lot better, but I made a mistake, and after 2 weeks, I bragged about how I was undefeated on Thursday Night Football picks. Then I get 3 in a row wrong.
Rough.
It could be a lot better. I'm at 10-7. You are at 6-10, and I know people who are going to do quick math goes, "Hey, how come Brett has more picks than Paul?" Patriots, he picked last week.
Yeah.
So
what do I do? What do I do? So you won't pick. I'll pick the week.
That was your bye week.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when the Cowboys don't have a game, I won't pick that game. So yeah.
All right. Well, it'll even out. Yeah, it'll even out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. You
want to go?
So how we do it? If you guys have never watched it, never listened to us, every week we'll do Thursday Night Football on the early week podcast if there is a game.
Yeah.
And then on the weekend edition, we will do our locks of the week. We will do our upsets of the week. and we're going to do our homer picks. So he's a Patriots fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. He'll pick the Pats game. I'll pick the Boys game.
Yeah.
And if there's a game that just stands out, like a couple weeks ago with Ravens and Kansas City, that we just feel like
big game. Yeah,
we'll pick that game too. Not very often. Don't have one this time. We're going to start with our locks. Paul, I'm going to let you start since you were just talking about a team that's in your locks.
Got my notes.
Got a piece of paper. Oh, God.
I have like one flimsy piece of paper that I wrote my picks down in marker.
Be professional, man. This is the professional.
This is professional as it gets over here.
You know what? I'm sick of you.
I talked about
my lucky shades.
I have to wear shades because my future's so bright right now. Yeah, is that you?
Something light, as the kids would say. What's your goddamn pick?
My lock. So I was just talking up those Cleveland Browns, dude. But they're still the Cleveland Browns, dude. They're going into this week. This is like they think like this is their Super Bowl, dude. Like they're going against the Steelers, and they think if they win this game, they now run the NFC or AFC North, right? And
they would think that, yeah.
There's going to be a ton of hype. It's going to be a ton of hype going into this game. True, yeah. But that's what Browns fans will think, right?
Sure.
There's going to be a ton of hype going into this game. It's the perfect Browns fans are so they're like,
this is their
team's so great. Exactly. And the Steelers looked great all year. Steelers are winning this game. I had it. We got to coordinate a little better on our lines because they've been all
use ESPN lines.
Yeah, but they've been changing all over the place because of COVID.
Because of COVID, sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I have the Steelers at -4. That is my lock.
I like that. Yeah. I like that pick. I'm gonna stick in the AFC North and the team that played the Steelers last weekend. Baltimore is playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore is 7.5-point favorites. I'm making that my lock. I think Philly has a decent defense, but their offense is so obliterated on that offensive line. Their weapons on the outside. Carson Wentz has been, I talk about Mitch Trubisky being a bad quarterback. Carson Wentz has 6 touchdown passes to 9 interceptions. He has not been good at all.
Not good. Yeah.
I think, really outside of the game against the Chiefs, the Ravens have looked fine. Is Lamar Jackson as explosive as he has been? No. But I think this is going to be a lot about Baltimore's defense. I think that 9 interception number for Carson Wentz is going up. I think Marcus Peters will be able to cheat on some routes and get away with a few. I think 7.5 points. It seems high, but I don't think Philly. I know Philly.
It went up, dude. I think that
Steelers.
That line went up.
I just checked ESPN, dog. You want me to double check it?
Double check it, dude.
Double check.
I think they just put some guys out for maybe mine are not
as accurate. It did go up. It is 9.5.
It's 9.5. I told you, yeah, because I was gonna say
I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, keep it. I'll keep 9.5. I think they'll win by at least 10.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick there. I'm gonna stick it there. That means I need to double check my other odds here while we're doing this. But good call right there. I got so angry. Man, I need to be open to change.
It's just because I saw something today. Like a couple of Eagles are out. I think something happened.
Well, Lane Johnson is out on the offensive line, so they're only going to get worse. I don't think any of the receivers are coming back.
Yeah, no, I think there's a receiver. There's a couple of receivers out too. That was what.
Okay.
I can't recall the headline.
I don't think Deshaun Jackson's coming back. I don't know if
Jalen
coming back. Who even cares if Alshon
that
Jeffrey's
moved it a little bit.
Back?
Yeah. So.
All right. Okay. My other lines I already got fixed. So
moving on.
Let's go to our upsets.
Okay.
Yes. Who do you got?
My upset of the week. The Atlanta Falcons are going to win a football game.
Ooh.
Over the Minnesota Vikings. I am
a combined 1 win between those two teams.
Exactly. I'm getting bold. I'm going to take Atlanta money line in this game. It's -4, but I'm taking Atlanta money line in this game.
Okay.
That's how confident I am.
The dub.
Dan Quinn, gone.
Deserved.
I just think, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's at the point where it's like it can't like it just something has to break. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like Newton's law of physics, where like things will fall to earth or whatever. It's something like that. I'm sure,
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
But the Falcons have to win a game. Like there's too much talent on that team, especially on that offense, to just not win any games. Like it's insane, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is the week. The Vikings stink too.
I think the Vikings are right in the same place.
Yeah,
and I don't hate the pick. I think it's a solid upset. I thought about that one,
yeah.
but they're also a team with way too much talent to be at the record that they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like. I mean, Dalvin Cook is out, so I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah,
that
is my upset.
Can't hate on it there. And I did not intend to do this, but apparently I'm picking all NFC East games this week.
Ooh,
my
nice.
Upset, the Washington football team. I won't use the racial slur. Can't do it. Won't do it. God, what a name, how unbelievable.
You're so close.
They are 3. Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Well,
you sound like you really want to say something.
Why is it okay to not say that word, but Braves is okay? Still.
We're not getting into that debate right now. Well, just don't tomahawk, okay? You racist SOB. I'm sick of you. So the Washington football team, they are 3-point underdogs to the New York Giants. Again,
true.
Between the two teams, they have 1 win. They both stink. And I think this is more about Washington's defense. I am taking Washington outright. They will win this football game. Ooh. I think the Giants, outside of the Jets, are the worst team in football. And, I mean, the Cowboys' defense wasn't able to do a whole lot against the Giants. But that wasn't because of the Giants. That was because the Cowboys' defense doesn't like to give effort. I think the one thing Washington has is they have dogs on that front line. Chase Young is not missing any time this week from what I've seen. I think he's going to have a field day with Daniel Jones, and I'm going to pick them to win this game. I wish Alex Smith was starting, but it is going to be Kyle Allen. He has that familiarity with Coach Ron Rivera because they both played together and coached together in Carolina. I think they have more weapons. I think they're going to get the dub. Washington could very well be tied for the division lead with the Dallas Cowboys by the end of this week.
Ooh. Bold pick. I like it, though. I mean, the Giants stink, too. It's just – I don't know. It's
you called the Jets in the Denver game, or did you call the Jags in Miami game the Pooper Bowl? Your little fifth grade bowl.
Yeah, this is a Pooper Bowl.
This is one of those,
Pooper
right?
Bowl 2.0. Yeah,
I mean, nobody cares.
Yeah, we get games like this every year though at the NFC East, where the two stinkers of the division just kind of
NFC East lately, but historically NFC East one of the tougher divisions. It's just not true right now. Right now they're the worst division. No debate about it. Let's go into homer picks. I'll start with this one since we're talking NFC East here. Mm-hmm. Again, for our homer picks, I always pick the Cowboy game. Paul always picks the Patriots game.
Let's do it.
Cowboys host the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. The Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites. Just double check to make sure we don't have any controversy around here.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it. All right? I'm going to do it. We're doing this for Dak. Are you ready for this? There goes my camera. You can see this makeshift operation. Let's fix that. Am I looking all right there?
You got it, dude. Yeah, you look great.
All right.
You're good.
I mean, I know I look great, but is the camera shaped up right there? So we're doing this for Dak. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, is going to have himself a game, and I don't necessarily believe that. But Chandler Jones for the Cardinals not playing. I think that's huge. It's a huge boost for the Cowboys' offensive line, which is kind of a patchwork job right now. Mm-hmm. I think this game is going to be all about Ezekiel Elliott. This will be his coming out game. It'll be a lot of play action. I mean, the receivers are, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, someone is going to be guarded by Patrick Peterson, but the other two who aren't, I think they are going to have a nice little run right there.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be more of an old school Cowboys game where back when they had DeMarco Murray in 14 or even in 2016 when Dak was a rookie, where it was run, keep the defense off the field. The Cardinals, they've looked great in flashes. I am terrified of D-Hop, okay? But I think the emotion, a lot of what's come out, the Cowboys are fired up to do this thing for Dak. I don't know how long that's going to last. I think we've got 2 weeks where they could go on a little run here against the Cardinals, who are a young football team, and then they've got the Washington football team next week. I think they can get to 4-3. After that, I don't have a whole lot of hope for them. I know I shouldn't. I know they hurt me. Although I'm not going to say my record picking the Cowboys this year because I'll jinx it. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to think with my heart over my brain for at least one more week. I'm riding with the boys. They're going to win outright over the Cardinals at home, 3-3. I'll never have been more excited to be a 500 football team than I will be this weekend on Monday night.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like that. I like your Cowboys in that game too. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. You make a good point though. Like everyone was giving Tony Dungy shit for saying this after. I don't know if you saw that. He was like at least the Cowboys will get back to being a running team. He's kind of got a point a little bit. Like he had somewhat of a point. I mean, that was when you guys were at your best. Is when you were running the ball through Zeke.
Well, when your defense stinks, you can't have him on the field.
Yeah. Do you think though? Do you think that Zeke has lost a step? That he's not the guy? You think he's the same guy?
And here's why. Like I know the rushing yards per game haven't showed it, but Zeke is historically a slow starter. Every year before this year, his rushing yards, and he looked, especially in 17 and last year, those 2 years where in 17 he had the accusations of abuse, domestic violence, which was a whole show I'm not going to get into.
Yeah.
And then in 19 he was trying to get paid. And you can argue whether you should pay a running back or not. I think Zeke is one of those guys like Christian McCaffrey. I think there's a few. Le'Veon Bell, no. Guys like Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, if he can stay healthy, Zeke, I'm okay with it. I don't love it. But, I mean, he's a stud. If you look at how he was running in the first couple weeks of the season before we started doing the, hey, let's get down by 40 and do a comeback, he had the burst. He had the power. And still, if you ask safeties and linebackers, who's the last guy you want to tackle in the football league or in the National Football League right now? They're going to tell you Zeke. You saw it in the top 100 video last year. They're all like, I don't want to lower my pads with him because it hurts.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's lost a step. I think this offense has lost their identity. I think while I don't think Tony Dungy, this is a good thing for Dallas long term.
Yeah.
I think for right now, I think the best thing they can do, get back to the run game, do what you do. You've got great receivers, do the play action. I think for a couple weeks, it'll work. Will it work the whole season? I don't know. I don't want to think about the whole season.
I think that I'm not saying he's done, right? Like I'm not saying but I think he has lost a step, dude. I think a lot of people view what you're saying. A lot of people view like it in terms of years, right? With NFL running backs, like, okay, like they're good for this many years. But I really think, and I've seen this done before, you can really equivalate it to carries. So like how many total carries, and then like when the production drops after those carries, and who's carried the ball more than Zeke over his first.
When's his production dropped? He had 1,300 rushing yards last season. And that was a down season.
I know. It's what I mean, but I'm saying it's coming though. He's looked suspect. I mean, the other thing is he did catch COVID, right? That was like another thing is like people are actually okay from COVID? Yeah. So, who knows? But I just those guys like him, McCaffrey, dude. Like McCaffrey's the same boat. Like once like they hit like a certain amount of carries, touches, dude.
Totally different running back.
Yeah,
I think McCaffrey, you could argue, has more longevity because he's a receiving running back. He's not a power.
No,
running back. But I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying either guy is like going to be out of the league soon. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying potentially for both of them, we've seen the best for both of them already.
Possible, yeah, possible. It's quite possible.
I mean, especially Zeke. I mean, he had that one ridiculous year. What was that? His second year?
I mean, he led the league his first and third year in rushing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
would have done it in the second year, but he had a stupid suspension he shouldn't have got. But
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We'll table that.
But that's what I mean. Like
I just
yeah.
Right, pick your pats.
Pick my pats. I am gonna switch it up this week, and so I have the line right now. I'm not sure what you got it at. I have that line at Patriots -9.5
over the Broncos.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Broncos, actually, with the points in this game. I'm going to go against my team. It's just too much, dude. It's too much, like...
Have we gotten confirmation if Cam's playing or not?
Cam is set to play, from what I've heard, because I guess he was due to return to practice, but they had more positive tests today. So, like, who even knows if they're going to play this goddamn game?
They have to get this game in.
They have to play this game. Yeah. If they don't play this game,
do you have COVID over there?
COVID.
Did you catch COVID from Cam up there in New England?
That was a COVID cough. Me and Cam were chilling.
You liberals are up there telling us about our masks, and you're the one with COVID. Oh my God!
It's true. But
hoax.
I just think the Patriots like barely have been in the facility for the past 2 weeks. Like, I don't understand how you can really be prepared to play a football game. Granted, if anyone can do it, like, it's Bill Belichick, right? I guess, but it's just hard for me to believe. I think they still can win this game. It's not that, but I just think it's going to be closer because, like they've had to. The Patriots have not really practiced as a team in 2 weeks now. So
it's been a minute.
Yeah. So I think I like the Browns with the points. I like the Patriots to still win, but I don't think I don't think they run away with it. Who knows? I hope they prove me wrong. I'll be happy to lose this pick, but I think it's going to be a closer game if they even play it. Yeah.
All right. Well, you beautiful viewers out there on the YouTube, let us know who you think had the better picks this week. And hey, pick your own locks, upsets, and your own home team picks this week. Use ESPN as your spread line. Let us know what you got. We'll take a look at it.
Oh yeah.
And I think, do you have anything else football-wise that you want to talk about, or are you ready to have a little fun here? Not that this whole thing hasn't been fun, but
I'm good.
Are you good? Are you sure?
Yeah. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our last segment.
We've got one more segment here for you guys, and we like to end this stuff with a little fun. We'll vary it from time to time, but you go to the bar, you have a few brews with your buddies, or you just meet some new homies. Who knows what happens at the bar when you're a bro? And you end up getting into these ridiculous conversations. We like to call these Barside conversations. We'll do debates here. We'll put ourselves in scenarios. In the past, we've played Never Have I Ever. We've done a bunch of dumb stuff. We're going to continue to do dumb stuff.
Of course.
And we're going to start here. Yeah. We're really, if you haven't noticed by now, I mean, look at me and look at his stupid beer can, or just listen to the words coming out of our mouths.
Yeah.
We like to say some dumb stuff. We're going to keep it going here. We're going to start with a pretty common game. It's Desert Island. And I know you had to work all night right before this podcast, but I hope you were paying more attention to this situation than you were your actual job. Not your new job. You would never do that for your new job. But
no, of course not.
Desert Island. Here's what we're going to do. I want you to tell me you're stuck on a desert island. I don't know how this works. I don't know how you conveniently have power and a TV and access to these movies or shows or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to tell me, if you're stuck on an island and you can only watch 2 movies the rest of your life, 2 TV shows the rest of your life, and 1 book the rest of your life, because we're bros. We can't handle reading 2 books.
Yeah, no way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could barely handle the 1. Might pick like a comic book or a coloring book. But
yeah.
Let's start with your 2 shows.
2 shows?
What are the 2 shows
Easy.
that you're going to watch the rest of your life? Mine's pretty easy too, but what do you got?
I got The Wire. If you're not familiar,
that's
one of the greatest shows of all time. What? What the fuck
did
you just say? What did you just say? That show is boring.
It is a good show. It's a good show. But okay, keep going.
It's like the best show ever been on television. I don't understand why that's controversial. So I'm picking The Wire as one of my shows.
There's a lot of rewatch value in The Wire.
Yeah, dude, I've watched it 10 times. I'll watch it 10 more times.
All right, man.
But then my other one would probably be Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
If I'm stuck in a desert island, I need a series that's gonna hear me up, right?
Yeah, and that was my thought. For my TV shows, I went straight comedy with rewatchability factor. I got to go The Office and I got to go Parks and Rec. Okay, Parks and Rec, my favorite show of all time.
Good picks.
The Office is my favorite show to quote of all time. I have never gotten tired of them. They're the ones that when I don't want to, when I can't fall asleep, I'll just put them on and fall asleep to it. I never get tired of it. So those are my go-to there. Hard to argue that. I know. I'm great at picking. Well, y'all can let us know what y'all would pick for any of these as well in the comments below. We'll tell you if you're right or wrong, because our opinions are the ones that matter. And these sunglasses just turned me right into a douche.
All
but
right.
let's go to movies. What are your 2 movies?
All right. So I gotta switch up with this one. First one's pretty simple. One of my favorite movies of all time, Training Day. I'll probably bring that. Great movie. Denzel in his prime.
No hate.
Great guy.
No hate
Great
there.
goddamn movie. But then with the second movie, I really put some thought into this.
Okay.
So I'm on a desert island. I assume I'm assuming I'm there by myself, correct?
If you're picking a porno, I'm gonna be really disgusted with
Dude, you have to. What the fuck? You have to bring a porn video with you. What are you gonna just not? You're just gonna imagine it for the rest of your life?
No, we are not. This is not how this is going.
You said the rest of your life you're alone on a desert island.
Let's just say
you're not gonna bring a porno tape with you.
Let's just say you have access to an entire library of filth that you can use, so you don't have to rewatch.
You're just making up the rules now. You said 2 movies.
It was my topic. I came up with it. 2 movies.
You have to bring. There's no women, and you have 2 movies. You have to bring a porno, dude. You have to.
I don't.
You would do it. You would absolutely. You say you wouldn't.
I didn't pick one. I didn't even.
But you were really in this situation. You would do it.
You're a little pervert.
I'm not a pervert, but like. Am I just supposed to just like imagine it for the rest of time, dude?
Don't act like you haven't watched enough.
You could give me like a 70s porn.
You can run reruns up there. Oh god.
With all the bush in the world, you give me a 70s porn. I would have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like but you got to bring something, dude. Like, what do you mean? You're there by yourself.
I didn't say you can have a woman with you. I didn't say. I don't know.
All right. Then I guess I changed my pick. If we're changing the rules,
you're allowed to. I mean, you can stick with it.
No,
shocking.
I'm sticking with it. Yeah,
all right.
You found it so offensive that I would pick.
I didn't find it offensive, you little pervert.
I'm not doing it out of.
You know what? Good for you.
I'm doing it like out of necessity, dude.
For thinking about your needs. Okay.
Exactly, dude.
I'm gonna be the wholesome man here and just say I will resort to whatever's in my mind for that situation. Like I don't need to bring a porno.
Hey,
I mean, give me 2 weeks and maybe that changes the situation. I don't know. I'm never gonna get stuck on a desert island.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna be hating life, dude. After like, it wouldn't necessarily be.
I'm already gonna be hating life. I'm stuck on a freaking island.
True.
Oh my god. All right. So the real answers here. I thought about going comedies, but I can only listen to one joke for so long for one movie. Like a TV show, I know I picked 2 comedies. You got so many episodes to choose from, you can go a while without hearing the same joke. Movie, can't do it. So I'm going the greatest movie of all time. I'm going Die Hard. You know, that way, especially when I know it's Christmas, I have a Christmas movie to watch right there as well. Bingo, bango. That's versatility right there. And the other one, I need a popcorn movie. Okay, I had a few I was wavering with. I thought about Jaws. I thought about Jurassic Park. But really, the only answer for me, Back to the Future, the first one. I can't cheat and stag at the whole trilogy. I love Back to the Future. It's probably the movie I've watched the most in my entire life. It's got comedy. It's got action. It's got a story. Love Back to the Future. So those are my 2. They're not.
That's a good pick, dude. Yeah,
I can't get over the fact that you picked porn. I should have known as soon as you paused you were going with it.
Yeah,
but good for you. You know what? You're a practical man, and I'm sure our listeners.
I think ahead, dude. I mean, the most important thing. The most important thing when you go out into the wilderness is to be prepared, and
that's exactly.
And I'm just trying to prepare myself for a life on a desert island.
Prior planning prevents poor performance.
Exactly.
Like 5 Ps.
Exactly.
Right? So good on you, pal. Good on you. Well done. Have your filthy little porno sessions. Let's talk about books. What is your go-to book? I don't even know if anyone cares about this one anymore. You've already shocked the world.
This is a strange one. I'll go all the way the other way. Ready? I'm bringing the Bible with me.
You can't bring the Bible and porn. You can't do. No, you can't do that.
Because if I have the Bible, man, and I use the Bible and I'm praying, man, that might be my only way off of the desert island.
So I feel like what's going to happen is the only reason you have a Bible is because you know after you go through a little porn session, you're going to feel like a sick, disgusting human being. all this shame is going to come over
True.
you and onto you.
True.
Boom, got him.
True.
And then you're going to want to repent for your sins to feel a little better about yourself, even though you are a dirty animal.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason you're bringing the Bible.
You're probably right. But
I mean, I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
The Bible is the most common book on earth, man. You know, you can get your hands on it. Yeah.
Yep. And you're getting your hands on other things.
There's a lot of different stories in there, you know. I haven't read it front to back yet. It's a pretty big book.
I can tell you pick porn. I know you haven't read it front to back, you little perv. You make me sick. I was actually a little upset that I picked this one because I was like, man, we're bros. We don't read. Who reads? God invented television so you didn't have to.
Yeah.
I know. Look, kids shouldn't be watching this anyway. Do your reading. It's very important. And
it's explicit material on YouTube.
You never know what this filth magnet up here is going to say or over. I don't know what side of the camera you're on. I'm just pointing either way.
Yeah.
But mine's probably boring. I picked The Hobbit. Loved The Hobbit as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It'll keep me busy for a little while. I don't feel like I'd get tired of it. So, Hobbit.
That's a good pick.
Not a big book guy. I had some other picks that I could have thought of.
It's got to be a long book. That's why I picked the Bible.
Yeah.
Because you got to pick a long book, right? Like you can't bring like a 40-page.
I already told you why. You picked the Bible to get over your guilt and shame and your sinfulness. That's why you.
You know what though? You know what? Now that I'm thinking back, can I redo this a little bit?
Yes, I will let you make an addendum.
I would probably swap out the book. I would swap out the porno movie for a porno magazine and then get a different movie because there's definitely another movie I'd like to watch forever besides that. Is that fair?
Yep. And I hope it rains.
That's more realistic.
Filth magazine and
that's more realistic, right? Yeah. It's probably more practical on Desert Island. Yeah.
I mean, you don't know how to read anyway, so I don't know why you're trying to read the Bible. Yeah. Boom, got him. Boom, got him. All right. So I got one more little conversation piece. And if anything pops into your mind that you also want to talk about, we can, or we can just wrap up the damn show because it's been a little over an hour and a half here. A little long, but I want to get into this because I'm hearing my friends do it, and it's making me sick here.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey. I mean, I know on the last Friday episode, I was sipping some Gentleman Jack. Neat. I don't need any ice in there. I don't need any mixers in there.
Hell yeah.
Are you okay with this craze? I don't know that it's a craze, but what I'm seeing with whiskey and all these fruity or added flavors like honey, apple, like green apple, cherry, like Jim Beam Red Stag, or I don't know what you're doing drinking Crown Royal, but like the Crown Apple or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about these flavored whiskeys?
I'm not a big fan, man. I mean, I drink whiskey, but I'm not like a huge whiskey guy. Like it's
okay. How about we change it to flavored alcohol?
Certain types, I guess, right? But I think as you get older, like you realize, like flavored alcohol is never a good option. Like because you learn like you get the worst hangovers from flavored alcohol, like because it's all sugar and like whatever bullshit in there, right? Like you gotta go with a straight drink of whatever you like to drink. That's what adults do. When you get older, once you're past like those college days, like you realize the less sugar you drink in your drinks with them, the better you're gonna feel the next day. So
that's absolutely right.
Yeah. So it's just a sign of maturity when you stop drinking flavored alcohol. So I think that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want something sweet, mix it with some soda pop. Like I
don't care what throw a little Coke in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. I mean, I'm talking
about cocaine. Yeah. No.
Oh, cocaine. You definitely can't mark this safe for kids when you go back to etiquette. So we're talking about cocaine.
Let's talk about cocaine, kids. Yeah.
I mean, it's 2020. You got to get through it somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't really have a whole lot to say on this. I just wanted to make sure we haven't been on a lot on this, but the issues that matter, flavored alcohol, certainly not something I'm interested in. And if you're a grown man drinking flavored vodka, especially,
you ever drink 99 bananas?
No.
You're a kid?
Why do I want a banana flavored anything? We did find, and I was,
do you know what I'm talking about though? Do you know what?
Yes. Yeah. Because we found it where I'm about to leave my last date's here in a couple weeks. But
Yeah.
the job I'm working at now, when I first became a supervisor, someone in the ladies' bathroom, and actually I have another topic here. I know we're going a little late, but I do want to ask you this real quick.
No, you're good.
But she found another supervisor found like empty little mini bar bottles of 99 bananas, like 4 or 5 of them in a trash can. And my response is, who is getting drunk off 99 bananas in an office? That's the best you can do.
It had to be.
I don't want
like it would either the youngest like girl in that office, right? Like youngest like college age girl or whatever in that office, or like some like older lady that like really just didn't have her shit together and like was still into 99 apples, or bananas.
She thinks she's younger. She's having like a.
She thinks, she goes to the bar and she's like thinks she's still in her 20s. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That's because no other sane person or really any guy drinks that. Yeah.
Well, apparently you did, but we won't get into that. I drank Hypnotic. We've all drank drinks we wish we didn't drink. But that kind of brings me something real quick. Last thing on the spot here. Speaking of ladies' restrooms are way grosser than dudes' restrooms. Yes,
are they?
Or no? Bro, absolutely. 100%.
I haven't spent a ton of time in them, but I have been like briefly in a couple dirty ones, I guess. I don't know, man. If you've been to like a sporting event and
we can't count that. What happens at the trough stays at the trough. All right. I'm just talking like a normal mall,
like a normal mall bath.
Yeah, just like a normal bath. All bets are off in a male.
I guess you could say that. I mean, because what do they say that you're like the only thing really in a men's bathroom, right? Is like there's probably urine everywhere, and urine is actually sterile, right? So you could argue that a men's bathroom is cleaner at all times because there's piss everywhere. Yeah, you could make make that scientific argument. Like if I were to have a scientist here and I was like, "What is cleaner?" He'd be like, "There's pee everywhere. It's sterile." Men's bathroom.
Sadly, when you're in
when I'm right, I'm right, man.
Well, yeah, I'm not arguing that, but when you're in a leadership position at a call center, and you have to close the place down, and a girl reports to you, and you're the only leader in there that someone's puked in there, or that they found 99 bananas bottles in there, and you wait till the bathroom. I'm not going in there when women are in there. Let's not even start that conversation.
No, I'm not saying.
But I go in there and I'm like, what in the hell happened to this bathroom?
Yeah.
Like there's writing everywhere. There's toilet paper everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Between that and having to clean church bathrooms as a kid, I've just kind of noticed. I always thought, dudes were naturally grosser. We smell worse. We look worse. Yeah. I would just assume
we would be
grosser. But my historical experience, which I guess is extensive compared to yours, women's bathrooms dirtier than men's bathrooms.
Have you ever lived with a woman? And you know how like women will like yell at you?
Married, so nope.
You know how they'll yell at you and be like, "Oh, you left the toilet seat up," and then like there's
shit's all over the fucking counter.
There's like a fucking hair dryer and like 17 bottles,
and their hair is clogging the sink.
Shit. The hair's clogging the sink, and
I don't even want to hear. And the tub, I don't want to hear.
Yeah, man, it's not fair, dude. You know, like we get a bad rap, dude. If I want to fucking leave the toilet seat up, how hard is it to put it down, dude? Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like literally that is literally the least amount of effort that you like have to put into anything in your entire life. You just flick. You just and it goes down. It falls down for you. You don't even have to like push it in most cases. It just falls. That's the biggest fucking con of all, and women get mad over that, dude. That's like
they don't lift the toilet seat back up for us.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm just saying.
The fuck? Maybe I'm going in there next. Put it back up. Ladies, I don't want to have to lift it.
Ladies, we love you, but do better. All right, clean yourselves up. Have some decorum. Have some common courtesy in the bathroom.
That's not true. Guys are disgusting. So it's just we're all human. But I guess that's my rant on that. Yeah.
You and your porn, you're an animal. But I don't have anything else for this show. I got nothing.
Hey, you're putting me on a desert island, dude. You're putting me on a desert island.
By myself. I should have asked you the specific porn, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we shut this thing down?
Not much. No, I don't got much today. But but it's been a great episode. Great debut on YouTube. I'm very excited for where this channel is going. We will we will continue to get better on here and change things up in terms of, keep improving on the YouTube channel, keep improving the podcast for you all. So we appreciate everyone that listens every week. And I want to give out a shout out to my buddy Mike Langley. I know he's an avid listener, if he's out there listening right now. So.
Oh, has he earned that shout out?
He has.
All right, I like that.
He's told me he's listening to a lot of different episodes. Yeah.
Let's go, buddy. Welcome to the pod. But yeah, that is going to do it for this debut episode of YouTube. Of course, as always, this will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll throw it up on Twitter. If you like what you see, if you want to go on this journey with us, hit that subscribe button. Maybe give us a little like. Mm-hmm. Comment on whatever you want to comment about this episode.
Say whatever you want.
We have a lot of places. Let us know what you'd like to see on the podcast. Again, as Paul said, we're only going to get better. So again, if you want, this is America. You don't have to, but hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We'll have the description for our past episodes we'll have the Spotify or the Apple Podcast URLs in the description of this video, so you can go back and check us out. Mm-hmm. Follow us at Bush League Bros on Twitter. I think maybe, you want to put our personal Twitters in the description as well. I don't want to give you Paul's the editor. I'm giving him a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel, you can find our handles on Twitter and Facebook. You can follow us both there. And I will also add our personal handles onto that YouTube page. Please follow us both. We'd love to hear any feedback as well, like Brett said. And we are excited.
Yeah. So again, that's going to be it. Do all those things. Don't do all those things. We can't tell you how to live your life, but we'd really like it if you did. Yeah. So for Paul, I'm Brett. We're shutting this thing down. So until next time, peace.